Srila Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Geht das damit oder?
No, passt. Dankeschön. Who speaks no German? So, dann würde ich sagen, wir sprechen in Englisch. Ihr versteht Englisch, ja? Gut. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are continuing to discuss Srimad-Bhagavad-gītā, 5th chapter, text 4. Sankhya Yoga Pritak Bala. Sankhya Yoga Pritak Bala. Pravadanti na pandita. Pravadanti na pandita. Ekamapyastita samyak. Ekamapyastita samyak. Ubayor vindate palam. Ubayor vindate palam. Sankhya yoga pritak pala. Pravadanti na pandita. Ekamapyastita samyak. Ubayor vindate palam. Sankhya yoga pritak pala.
Pravadanti na pandita.
Pravadanti na pandita.
Ekamapyastita samyak.
Ekamapyastita samyak.
Ubayor vindate palam.
Ubayor vindate palam.
Sankhya yoga pritak pala.
Sankhya yoga pritak pala. Pravadanti na pandita. Ekamapyastita samyak. Ubayor vindate palam. Ladies. Sankhya yoga pritak pala. Sankhya yoga pritak pala. Pravadanti na pandita. Pravadanti na pandita. Ekamapyastita samyak. Ubayor vindate palam. Thank you. Sankhya, analytical study of the material world. Yoga, work in devotional service. Pritak, different. Bala, the less intelligent. Pravadanti, say. Na, never. Pandita, the learned. Ekam, in one. Api, even. Astita, being situated. Samyak, complete. Ubayo, of both. Vindate, enjoys. Palam, the result. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Only the ignorant speak of devotional service, karma yoga, as being different from the analytical study of the material world, Sankhya. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the results of both. Purport. The aim of the analytical study of the material world is to find the soul of existence. The soul of the material world is Vishnu, or the Supersoul. Devotional service to the Lord entails service to the Supersoul. One process is to find the root of the tree, and the other is to water the root. The real student of Sankhya philosophy finds the root of the material world, Vishnu, and then, in perfect knowledge, engages himself in the service of the Lord. Therefore, in essence, there is no difference between the two, because the aim of both is Vishnu. Those who do not know the ultimate end say that the purposes of Sankhya and Karma Yoga are not the same. But one who is learned knows the unifying aim in these different processes. Mukam karoti vachalang pangung langayate girin yat kripa tangahang vande Shri Gurun Dinataranam. Homa Yajna timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun militangena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Once again, the translation of the verse. It says, only the ignorant speak of devotional service, karma yoga, as being different from the analytical study of the material world, Sankhya. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the results of both. So, where are we in the Bhagavad Gita? It was actually in the end of the third chapter where Krishna advised Arjuna that he should develop knowledge. He needs knowledge, he needs transcendental knowledge in order to fight against the all-devouring demon lust, yeah? Which is there to a bigger or smaller tendency in all of us. This is the selfish tendency, yeah? Where we try to enjoy our senses with the aim of what's in for me, yeah? Or for us, for the family or for the country in some or other aspect, different aspects. As in the degree as that lust is still there, Krishna advises Arjuna, you need to develop transcendental knowledge. That was the step from the third chapter to the fourth chapter. Because the fourth chapter speaks about transcendental knowledge. Krishna starts to teach Arjuna transcendental knowledge. And basically what he means with transcendental knowledge is what we find in the 34th verse of the fourth chapter, where Krishna says, Tvam Tatviri pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti tegenam gyaninas tattvadarshina. We need to surrender, we need to approach a tattvadarshi, a person who has seen the truth, and receive knowledge from the tattvadarshi, from the one who knows what is actual what is our actual duty. And that basically constitutes Sambandha Gyan. Yeah? The Sambandha Gyan, which instructs us about who we are, that we are not this body, but we are eternal spirit soul. And we are not just spirit soul, but we have a duty as a spirit soul. This is what we call Sanatan Dharma, which is the engagement in activities which are pleasing to the Lord. Yeah? We call them devotional service. Jai Shishi Pralad Lakshmi Nishinga Bhagavan Ki Jai. We also hear that in Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Lord Chaitanya says to Sanatan Goswami, Chivera Svarupahaya Krishnera Nityadas. Yeah? We are a Nityadas or a Nityadasi. We are an eternal servant of the Lord. This is our constitutional position. And this knowledge is what we get from the Tattvadarshi, from the one personality who has seen the truth, to whom we surrender and we ask instructions from him, and we serve him in a devotionally dedicated way. So in this way, we receive transcendental knowledge through the line of disciplic succession. We approach the youngest line, the youngest part of that line. Means a living spiritual master. So that was practically given, that was the knowledge given in the fourth chapter. Now, what Krishna also gave to Arjuna in the fourth chapter was something very, very important for us to understand. It's the art of acting. We are all acting somehow or other. We are all always active. Yeah? Especially when we see devotees. Like when we have the example of Srila Prabhupada, he was crossing the world, surrounding the world 14 times. He was extremely active. We cannot be inactive. We are always active. Even when we sleep, then the mind is active. So that means it is extremely important for us to understand how we have to act so that we are not entangled in this material world. And Krishna explains to Arjuna 3 kinds of activities in the 4th chapter. He explains karma, vikarma, and akarma. Karma, basically, we understand as material activity. Yeah? But in this sense here, karma means the positive activity, pious activities. And vikarma is the opposite, impious activities, sinful activities. Both of them have a reaction. Both of them bind us to the material world, to the cycle of birth and death. And then he speaks about the 3rd way of acting, and this he calls akarma. A means the negation of the word, what follows. So karma means activity. A is the negation, no activity. Yeah? And this is what we call devotional service. Devotional service is not an activity. An activity is something what causes a reaction, what binds us to the material energy, to the cycle of birth and death. But the devotee does not perform activity, because his activities don't cause any reaction. Yeah? And then he speaks that famous verse, those who see acting in inacting and inacting in acting, those are the real wise ones. Yeah? It's a little bit complicated. It's like a world jugglery. Those who see inaction in action, what would you say? Is that the bhakta or the yogi? In action is the devotee, yes. The devotee performs action. As we just heard, Prabhupada was traveling 14 times around the world. We see how the Sankirtan devotees go out and distribute books. They're all day long active. But in their activities, they perform akarma. No activity. They are practically inactive in their action. Yeah? Externally seen, they are extremely active. But we look at the consciousness. We look inside. What is going on inside? They don't act with the intention, I need to satisfy my senses. They act with the intention, I want to please Guru and Krishna. And that consciousness makes that the activity, what they are doing, is not binding them, is not creating, not resulting in any reactions which binds them to the cycle of birth and death. So the devotees are those who are not acting, actually, although they are extremely active. And the yogi, he is the other one. Yeah? He performs action in inaction. He is externally seen not active. Yeah, he is sitting in a cave. He is trying to avoid all the material items. Yeah? And he thinks, oh, I'm so absorbed. But the mind is constantly dwelling on the sense objects. This is what we have to practice, what we are practicing every morning. We sit down and we chant japa and we understand it's so difficult to bring the mind to stay with the mantra. Yeah? It goes away, runs here and there and is with so many different tasks, but not necessarily constantly during our japa with the holy name. It's difficult. No? So the yogi also has that task to control his senses. It's a very difficult path. Now Arjuna, on the battlefield, he had that idea, fighting is not good. Fighting is impious. Yeah? Better I leave the battlefield and I go to the forest and I become a yogi. Yeah? That is much better. Then I'm not going to kill people. I'm not causing so much suffering. And Krishna explained to him what is acting and what is inactivity. And the desire of Arjuna to go to the forest, now with the knowledge, what we just heard, what would he say? Is that a correct decision, or is something wrong in that understanding? Yes?
Understanding there's no understanding of akarma.
Exactly. It's the akarma point what Arjuna did not get. Yeah? He didn't understand that inactivity doesn't mean to just sit and do nothing. Inactivity, we have to understand, is a state of consciousness, not an external state of acting or inactiveness. It's a state of consciousness. Therefore, Krishna explained to him in the 4th chapter what is karma, vikarma, and akarma. What is akarma? But still, at the end of the 4th chapter, Arjuna didn't get it. Therefore, he continues to ask in the 5th chapter. It's continuing. Transcendental knowledge is continuing. Krishna understands also that Arjuna has his difficulties to follow what he was teaching. And he goes more into detail of what is actually akarma. The whole 5th chapter is speaking about akarma. Actually, the Sanskrit title of the 5th chapter is Karma Sannyas Yoga. Means we detach from karma. Means we make akarma. Yeah? Karma sannyas yoga. But Arjuna, again, he gets it wrong. He thinks, okay, sannyas. We detach. Yeah? We go to the forest, we detach. This is best. No, this is what you want me to do, Krishna. Krishna said, no, you again got it wrong. No? And then he speaks this verse where he says, actually, one who sees differences between the two paths is one who did not fully get the point. Later on we will hear that also the path to go to the forest and meditate is actually bringing the devotee to the yogi to the point of realizing Atma. If he does it with a sincere heart. But that path is much more difficult. Much more difficult, and the danger to fall from that path is much higher. What do we get from that path, what Krishna recommends? Or how we can understand that path in a more simple way? Prabhupada explained to us, no need to reject any material items as Maya, yeah? But better engage them in Krishna's service. This is what we call Yukta Vairagya. Vairagya is the renunciation, yeah? Like sannyas, renunciation. But it's yukta. Yukta is a synonym to yoga. Means we renounce, but not completely, totally, that we go to the forest and we don't do anything. We renounce the enjoyment of the material item for ourselves, and instead of that we engage the material elements in Krishna's service. This is Yukta Vairagya. In this way, they lose their binding effect. The yogi, he practices also Vairagya. Yeah? He also goes the path of sannyas. But his sannyas or his Vairagya is Falgu. Falgu means false, wrong. Yeah? Although Krishna says here, also that path ultimately leads to the same goal. Yeah? That person, the yogi, also comes to the tree. he sees the tree. Yeah? But the devotee, he is already watering the root. Yeah? He goes the direct path. And the path of the yogi is longer and more dangerous. Yeah? Even in the 6th chapter, he continues on that point. He explains to Arjuna, it is so difficult. Even Arjuna himself, he says to Krishna, to focus the mind, to control the mind is more difficult than to control the wind. Yeah? How can we control the mind? And then Krishna says, yes, don't even try. Yeah? It's too difficult. Yeah? Too difficult. Just engage your senses in devotional service. And that will bring the detachment. Yeah? And this is called karma sannyas yoga. It means we don't detach from the activity, but we detach from the result of the activity. Yeah? We don't do the activity for our own sense gratification. We do it with the intention to please Krishna. This part in the Bhagavad-gītā is very relevant to understand, and this topic actually goes through the Bhagavad-gītā right, like a red thread. It's that understanding we should work, we should perform our duty, but we should not have a claim on the result of the activity. The result is belonging to the Lord. Even in the 18th chapter, the 18th chapter is a summary of the whole Bhagavad-gītā. Krishna picks up again that topic. And there he calls the chapter Moksha Sannyas Yoga. Yeah? Moksha Sannyas Yoga means if we manage to detach from the result of our activities, we reach perfection. We reach moksha from our material entanglement. Yeah? Prabhupada translates it in perfection of renunciation. Perfection of renunciation is not what Arjuna wanted to do, to go to the forest and meditate. Yeah? Perfection of renunciation is to remain there where we are, perform our duties, and be detached of the result. Yeah? This is akarma. This is devotional service. Such activities don't result in any karmic reaction. Such activities are not binding us to the cycle of birth and death. And this is what we have to learn. That means before we perform an activity, a devotee goes and asks for empowerment. Like we have the story of Brahma. Every morning he is again born on top of the lotus in the dark, and he doesn't know what to do. Yeah? Although he created the universe the day before, and the day before, and the day before, he knows practically what to do. Yeah? We may say, oh, we get up, yes, today again. I know exactly what is going on. No need of asking for empowerment, no need of asking for blessings. But Lord Brahma, he's the most intelligent being in the universe. He is even the top person of our parampara, of our line. So if he thinks, I need to first ask for blessings and instructions before I start my day, then definitely we also have to do like that. We have to follow in his footsteps. Yeah? Brahma, what he did, he sat down and he meditated for 1,000 years. Jai Tulsi Maharaj. Until he heard the flute sound of the Lord and got the instruction of Chatur Shloki Bhagavatam, the 4 seed verses of the Bhagavatam, from where he expanded the whole Vedic scriptures and started to create the universe. And he was even praying to the Lord, please, my dear Lord, don't protect me so that I'm not becoming proud. Yeah? Don't allow me to become proud, because he is about to create the universe. Yeah? And he could fall into the danger to think, I'm the one who creates the universe. Yeah? That is karma. But he is praying, please help me never to forget that I'm your instrument, that I'm the second creator. Everything has already been created. I'm only the second creator. I'm only the instrument. Yeah? This is how a devotee also is supposed to pray every morning when we get up from sleep. Please, my dear Lord, you have woken me up from sleep. Now I'm ready to do whatever you like me to do. Yeah? And in this consciousness we go through the day. And if we understand that we are performing the activities not in the consciousness of I'm the doer and I'm the enjoyer, but we are performing the activities in the consciousness I'm an instrument in the Lord's hands. Or I'm like Prabhupada prayed when he reached Boston, my dear Lord, I'm just like a puppet in your hand. Make me dance. If you like, make me dance as you wish. Yeah? This should be the attitude of a devotee. And this is what makes our activities akarma. No activity. No, it's no acting. An action is something what causes a reaction. But the devotee who is acting in that consciousness of I'm only an instrument is not causing any reactions. Yeah. So this is what Krishna is speaking about here. And especially in this verse explaining that if we have a closer look on the two paths, there is not really a difference, it's just a different approach. But still, Krishna would recommend to do that path, to take that path of akarma, of karma sannyas, yeah, rejecting the ownership of the result of our activities, and in this way perform akarmic activities, which is a safe way. We can engage our senses fully. It is very difficult to keep the senses controlled. So in this Krishna conscious path, in this akarma path, in this devotional path, we can engage our senses. But we understand it's not for our pleasure, it's to please the Lord. And in this way, our activities are not binding us. Prabhupada explains in the second chapter, our senses are like snakes which have a poisonous tooth. But when we engage the senses in devotional service, then this poisonous tooth is taken out. And the engagement of our senses is not causing harm for us. But in this way, the senses become instrument to help us to perform devotional service. It's all a matter of consciousness. It's not a matter of activity. Yeah? Therefore, even Arjuna, who was fighting on the battlefield, he was supposed to stay there and do his dharma, his duty. Krishna told him, stand up and fight. Even that immensely aggressive activity becomes a karma with the right consciousness. Even in the 18th chapter, there are purpose that Prabhupada writes, it doesn't matter what we do. Our activity doesn't even matter. What matters is the consciousness. Do we see ourselves as instruments or do we see ourselves as enjoyers? This makes the difference. This makes an activity a non-activity, an akarmic activity. We are not acting, although we are constantly acting. It's a very important topic because, as I mentioned before, we are all active all the day, even in the sleep. There is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur who says, may I, even in sleep, not have any other goal than to follow the instructions of my spiritual master. This is perfection. So, yeah, this is what I wanted to share with you today. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad-gītā ki jai. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments? Yes, Subha.
Hare Krishna. So if I understood correctly, if I'm not in such a great consciousness, not remembering that it's for the pleasure of my Guru and Krishna, all the so-called devotional activities I do might even have a karmic reaction afterwards?
We call it karma mishra bhakti or gyan mishra bhakti. Yeah? We are on the way to perform Shuddha bhakti. But as long as we have selfish tendencies, it's not yet pure. Yeah? It's still mixed with some selfish parts in it. Yeah? It's still mixed with the selfish part in the sense of performing activities, karma, or the desire for gyan, acquiring knowledge. The gyan or the karma is still there. And we may already in our position perform Shuddha Bhakti. This was what Adipurusha stressed in his classes. For example, when we go out to the lawn and we pick flowers, and we have in mind, like Kishori Kund did with these beautiful garlands, she just had in mind, I go to pick these flowers for the Lord. And she went and she made these beautiful garlands. It's pure devotional service. There's no other intention there. No? That might be there for some time of the day, but our desire is to come on that level for 24 hours a day. What is Rupa Goswami's most important advice for all of us? Always remember the Lord and never forget Him. We should come to that level to arrange our days in such a way and to train our consciousness in such a way that we always think of the Lord and never forget Him. It's not actually a matter of training, it's a matter of attachment. Like the gopis, what are they doing? They are engaged in their household duties. And they have to tell to Krishna, leave our minds. We cannot concentrate on our duties. Please go away, leave us for some time in peace. And we are on the opposite side. No? We are forgetting about Him. We need to call Him, please come, please be there present in our mind. Please allow us to remember You. And to the amount where we are able to remember the Lord, we are performing devotional service. And to the amount where we forget Him, we have to still work to stay in that connection. Yeah. Yes?
I also have a small question. So in verse here, we can achieve the result of both. So my question is, how we can see that we so I mean, what will be the result of both? So for action in detachment and renunciation, what is the result of? Yes.
How we can see that the result is the same?
So yes, what is the result actually of both? Is it different?
Like Sankhya is the path of Gyan, yeah. Like Sankhya also means counting. Is one who goes and counts the different elements in the world and tries to find out where are we coming from. And ultimately, if he does it in a sincere way, he finds out, yes, there are the 24 material elements, but there are 2 elements more, yeah? Soul and super soul. Yeah? The Mayavadis, they find only one more element, yeah? Because they see the soul as identical with the super soul. But as devotees, we understand there are 2 elements, spiritual elements, soul and super soul. So if he is sincere in his endeavor to investigate how this world came about, he will reach out the soul and the super soul. And from there he starts where the bhakta immediately starts. Yeah? The bhakta immediately goes and waters the tree, the root of the tree. And the jnani, he first has to find the tree. Yeah. It's also possible. Prabhupada said we take the elevator. We don't need to go through all these other paths. We just take the elevator and we go up to the Bhakti Yoga path. Right away, from 0 on, we can just engage our senses in devotional service and pray to the Lord to accept our service. And in this way, devotional service, akarmic activities, they don't cause new reactions. They eradicate reactions on previous karmic activities. They are of eternal, they last eternally. And what is most important, and why we are performing them, they increase our attachment to the Lord. Yeah? And this is what we actually want. It's not that we perform akarmic activities because we are afraid of reactions. Yeah? Therefore, better we perform devotional service than we don't get reactions. No, we perform devotional service because we want to become lovers of the Lord. Prabhupada said he wants us to fall in love with the Lord. Yeah? And when we have that situation, then naturally the mind also is always with the Lord. Yeah? It's attached. It's not a theoretical thing. It's not a rational approach. It's a heart approach. Yeah. Yes.
So when we only instrument in the Krishna hands, only pet, so where is the place for the individuality?
The individuality is expressed in the uniqueness of each soul. In the way your relationship is with the Lord. This is your individuality. Yeah? You can choose if you wear your pullover in this way or you wear it the other way around. Yeah, this is your individuality. Yeah. Or if we have a look on the free will, it's very, very minute. Free will is, do I turn to the Lord or do I turn away? Do I perform akarma or karma and vikarma? This is practically our free will. And the individuality, we mentioned that in one of the last classes already, that actually each soul has a very unique relationship with the Lord. And the Lord is missing that relationship because He knows what kind of taste He can have with each single soul. We don't know that. We may have friends, and with each friend, think about the relationships to your friends. Each relationship is very unique. You don't have a relationship with what you have with one person again with another person, because all persons are individual, yeah? Unique in their way, in their approach, in their behavior. Yeah? So the Lord also, with each soul, He has a very unique relationship, and He knows about it. We don't know which taste we could have if we have a relationship with another person whom we don't yet have a relationship. Yeah? But when we build up a new friendship, we get to taste another way of relationship. Yeah? So there is a little minute understanding of what the Lord knows in fullness. He understands which relationship is missing, and this is you as soul at the moment is not fully in the relationship with the Lord, and He's missing that relationship with you.
So He used us in individual way, like
Yes.
He know us, the more like we know. Like I know me, so He know me, and he used my individuality to serve Him.
Yes.
Okay.
And also, here in everyone present in this room is an individual, very unique. And it is said, even Prabhupada mentions that in one of the purports in Nectar of Instruction, that the tendency, what we may be very strong-minded person, or we may be a little weak and a little shy. And these qualities, what are kind of our most, our main qualities, they already give a sign of what is the mood of the soul. Yeah? It's already the manifesting the tendency of the soul. Yeah? Like we have Lalita Sakhi, who is chastising Krishna. And then we have Vishaka, who is very moderate. She is not daring to chastise Krishna. Yeah? And in this way also we have people who are very bold, who dare to do things, and persons who are very shy. Yeah? This is already a sign of a quality of the soul. What is?
So this is not only contaminated nature.
It is contaminated, but in the essence.
On the essence. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is like on this this core is more like this is something pure inside, but this is contaminated,
Yes.
and in this special way.
Just have to clean away all the clouds on the mental horizon, and then the pure essence is again shining through.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Virasara.
Hare Krishna, thank you for the lecture, Mataji. Just concluding for understanding, like the both paths are the same in that way that they come to the same goal, like pure devotional service, to realize one is an eternal part and parcel of the Lord, has to render service.
Yep.
But the other one, one of them is engaging right now practically, and the other one is just coming to the conclusion that one has to engage somehow at some point.
Right.
Yeah, but
And to come to that conclusion is a long path, is a long practice, which is dangerous, because you need to concentrate, you need to always keep your mind fixed and try to
focused?
Not focused. The senses have to be, I forgot.
Controlled?
Controlled, yes. It's getting late, sorry.
No problem.
The senses need to be controlled, which is very difficult for long term. Yeah? For short, like when we sit down for 2 hours, maybe not even for 2 hours, we can't control the mind, but it's easier than to have that process for like we are practicing Krishna consciousness for many years, yeah, to come to a result. Yeah? And the yogi is also spending his lifetime in trying to control his senses. So it's a difficult path. That means we have the example of Shobari Muni. No? 60,000 years he was meditating in the Yamuna. And then half a sense, one eye, the left eye, he did not control. He opened the left eye, and what did he see? 2 fishes were having sexual intercourse. And that was the moment when he left his underwater condition and he went to marry 50 ladies. After 60,000 years of practice. So we see, don't waste time. We don't have so much time. So better we just go directly to that Susukam Kartum Avyam. Is this joyfully performed process. Yeah, you had an ecstatic kirtan before. That's it. Now Krishna is pleased. You get the mercy and the purification is there. And by performing devotional service, we eradicate the ahankar, which gives us even more impetus to engage more intensely in devotional service, which makes us advance faster. So this is the fastest and safest way, and the most blissful way. Yeah?
So you're saying that this analytical study of the world, like Sankhya, is compared to the mystical yoga process?
Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Baladevi Bhushan he both called that Sankhya the Gyan path, yeah, which is accumulating knowledge, actually, yeah, not necessarily the Ashtanga path, but it is similarly dangerous path. Because you also need sense control on that path.
Because you just control instead of engaging the senses.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It's like a water pipe, no? You can hold the water for a certain time, but after some time the pipe splits and the water comes out in different parts. So better don't keep the pipe closed with water. Let the water run, but engage it properly. Put it in the flower bed. No? So let the water.
And this study of the material world, this is not accumulating transcendental knowledge. That's something that's under the point devotional service because it's hearing.
Yes.
Or what?
Transcendental knowledge is the Sambandha Gyan. Yeah. What the material world consists is of course, Prakriti is also a part of understanding where we are or what we should not engage in, or that the material body is made of Prakriti. But practically, Sambandha Gyan is to understand I'm spirit soul, the Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I have a devotional relationship with Him. And I have a duty in that relationship, this devotional service. Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome. Hare Krishna. Srimad-Bhagavad-gītā ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.